Welcome one and all to this 25th episode of D&D with me, Mike.
And me, Zoe.
And I fell in the water. Oh dear, get out. So what we're going to do today is two things at least. One is look at a bug that we have from last time, which is sometimes we... the bomb detects us, but it doesn't explode. Well, it explodes, but it doesn't hurt us. And the second one is we don't have any animations or anything for opening the treasure chests or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff needs to be done about that. So let's take a look at the bug first. Possible not to take damage from bomb if running into it as it's about to explode. So my suspicion in this particular case is that we have exactly the same case as before. Meaning the bomb itself acts as a barrier from the raycast. So the bomb thinks that it itself acts as a stop from the ray, so it doesn't detect you and it doesn't hurt you. That's my guess. So let's go take a look at the enemy bomb. It's probably here. When it explodes, it does a few checks. So overlap sphere, and if it finds you in the overlap sphere, then it does the raycast hit, and the raycast hit goes from transfer to opposition. See this?
Yeah.
This is exactly the same problem we had last time. So let's go take a look at how we fixed it. I think it was in the awareness manager or somewhere thereabout. So let's see, awareness module. Icon on trigger stay, there it is. Add entity inside to site. Enemy owner detect player. That's the one. And let's see the ray, transfer position plus direction normalized times a certain specific number. And then the direction. So I like this ray, and it's really useful, but it's a bit annoying that it's inside here, and also it's a bit annoying that there's this sort of crazy number here which we've literally plugged in. That's not brilliant. So each enemy should probably have that information in the rules. So let's add a serialized field. Close the square bracket private. It's going to be a float. And what we're looking at, we're looking to call it ray start radius, and give it a default value of 0.6. Perfect. Okay, let's copy this and paste it. Undo.
Oops, not there.
Yeah, it's my bad. Wait, we did a bunch of things. Undo it here and paste it here. Save. Okay, so this is all good. So this is pointing in direction. Direction is the player. Yeah, so all of this is pretty good for detect player. Here it does start aggression. That's fine. I'm trying to think whether there's a way for us to reutilize this particular method in an intelligent way, because detect player is not what we need. But then again, at the moment, what detect player does that's important is this.
Yeah.
So I think we should have something like calculate ray or get ray, maybe something like that. Let's see what the enemy bomb is doing here. Yeah, see, it's fairly similar. It creates a raycast hit. So it goes through every collider. Do we have an enemy owner here? Yes, we have an owner. Okay, well at this point we can utilize these on the other side. Not ideal, but it'll do, because every other character could have completely different behavior. So
yeah,
let's copy this and paste it right here. Save. And here we're creating a new ray. That's not going to work. Now this is wrong, and as far as I can tell, it's the only one that's wrong. Now what we need to do is we need to go to the enemy bot. This one is private, so put it on public.
Okay.
Save.
Do we want to hide it in the expector?
No, we need to be able to change it for different enemies. So, and here you want to go to owner dot. That should do. Right, so now we got the ray. Copy the ray. You don't need this ray anymore. Paste it. Save. And that should do. Now save. Now the problem is you've already saved, but I've got this instinct in my head when I think. Actually, let's make this a little bit more tidy because now it's
now
short
we don't
enough.
really need the other space.
Yeah, we don't need all of this sort of reduction of space. I like to use this a lot when I have very long code. It wouldn't fit on one screen.
And it
Save.
used to not fit this one.
Now it fits comfortably, so we're good. Alright, let's give this a test, even though I'm fairly sure we won't really be able to figure much out, frankly.
Okay.
All we'll find out is that it works, right? And we won't be able to really repro. Oh, never you mind. I didn't lose a heart.
Yeah, I see that. Again. And again.
Okay, let me just stand still. No. So now we're not losing a heart for literally anything, which is fairly interesting. We kind of broke it forever. So let's see. Player transform position minus transform position. That should be correct. Unless the transform position is all bananas. Now transform position vector up. 0.5, that's correct. That's the height. Plus the direction. Excuse me. Times the owner radius. And then direction, which is correct. Now raycast hit, ray out, raycast hit, blah blah blah. Okay. Debug.log. And go raycast hit dot transform. Close the round, semicolon. So let's get some information at least. Bonjour, get mad at me, Mr. Bomb, Monsieur Bomb. Okay, nothing.
Came.
Not even that. That's weird. Overlap sphere, player layer. Okay, here type debug.log and cs.length. Yeah. And here go debug.log. Open round cs square bracket I dot transform. Close the round, semicolon. Okay, so let's see how many things that explosion is going to detect when it happens.
Player, it said.
Okay, so oh wait, we got a 1. Oh yeah, so there's 1 and it detected the player. Okay. One thing that's interesting is this is a bit stupid. Copy this and paste it here. Save. So this is now changing the direction to the object we found. Okay. Save. Okay, which is the player in this case, but that's fine. So we're gonna find the player. And we're gonna get the direction from the player to the current object. This worries me. Maybe the transformed position is somewhere else. I don't know. The new ray goes. Yeah, we've talked about that. So here you want to do debug.log. Debug.draw line. Go one up. Yeah. Open round. Ray.origin. Comma, ray.direction times 5f comma color dot red comma 5f. Close the round. So now it's gonna draw a line for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's try and see what happens. We're not gonna maximize and play. We want to make sure that we see those lines. You can draw gizmos here so you can see them. And that's our problem.
Pointed so far away.
Yeah, you remember this was our same problem last time.
Yeah, I do.
And I think the issue is the transformed opposition. So let's take a look at how we did it here. This was transformed opposition as well. Let's change this transformed opposition. This one surprises me. It's a bit weird, but whatever. No, but wait, it's doing transformed opposition, etc. Don't know. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, so we need better stuff. So here I want you to type void on draw gizmos.
This one, a default one?
So hit it. Yeah, you can remove private, save. And what you're gonna do now is you're going to do debug. No, my bad. Sorry. Gizmos.
You have caps lock on.
No, you have caps right now. So gizmos dot draw wire sphere. There it is. Open round. So now it wants to center transform dot position, comma radius. Wait. Explosion radius. So type explosion radius. It's there. Close the round. Semicolon. So now every bomb is gonna have that thing drawn around it. I want to see what the transcendent position is. So that's their explosion radius, which is looking correct. In fact, that even worked. So this is all correct. The line is actually being drawn, which means the object does exist and it's the player. Ray origin. I'm bothered by this a little bit. I don't know where the ray origin is going to be. It still says transcend the position, but it clearly should be correct. We've just demonstrated the transcend the position works.
Yeah.
So direction. It should also work. Okay, copy this, paste it here, and here you're gonna type, copy this, paste it here, copy this, paste it here, change this to yellow, and let's change this to a 2 and this to a 2. Save. I'm just desperately trying to see whether these lines are being drawn correctly or not. I want to see if the direction is right, if the starting point is right.
They're both going there.
Yeah, so they're both going all the way to here. Very odd. Oh, hello. Okay, so one of them is on the ground. That's normal. The red one, is the red one going down? Yeah, I think so. The red one's going down, which is also interesting. It's very definitely going like to 0.0 or whatever, and it looks like the distance isn't really being respected for the drawn line. I don't really understand why that is, but okay. So I drew the transposition and the direction and nothing else. How is transformed opposition a 0? I don't get it. So it instantiates the explosion, but it doesn't destroy the object until later. Yeah, until it does take damage. This should work. What's in the fridge? I literally don't see anything dodgy here. Type debug log .log open round. Now copy this, paste it here, close the round semicolon. Now copy all of this, actually all of this, and plus the quote, close quote, plus paste, save. Okay, so now we're gonna get the name of the thing and that. Now copy all of this, paste it here, and here simply type bomb. And this is gonna be transfer position, save. Let's see all of these things now. Poor daddy's confused. He doesn't know what's broken. So player clone was at 26.5, bomb was at 26, 38. Yeah, everything looks correct to me. Therefore, that direction, copy all of this, paste it, type dir, copy this, paste it here, save. So the direction should be, in this particular case, something very, very close to a positive x. So it should be x is 1 or whatever, something like that. Y is going to be 0. Yeah.
0.5, 0.
Yeah, that's fine. That makes perfect sense. The direction is perfect. So the direction is working. The bomb is correctly perceiving itself. Now draw line goes from transfer position, direction times 2. Oh, your dad is a fool.
Right.
Yes. Copy this. Paste it here. There. It's normal because we were going from 0.0 to the direction, so that's why that's happening. And then you can copy this, paste it here, space plus space, save. Now let's take a look. So this should now work correctly, I think, and we should get those lines actually drawn in the right place. Let's see. Not gonna move. There you go. So the lines are correctly drawn. Let's see. So the red one is drawn directly inside the player. I can't quite tell, but it looks that way. So could it be that we have the exact opposite problem, meaning that we are inside? But wait a second, that doesn't make any sense, because player layer, eh? What does this do? This one is the game manager. Player layer only points at the player. Okay. So here it goes, get component player. So if raycast hit transform get component, so raycast ray out explosion check layer. So that's different. Explosion check layer is a mixed map obstacle player or enemy. So if it hits the player, then it goes there. But if it doesn't hit the player, here, type an else. And open a squiggle, hit enter, plus, yeah. And here go the But wait a moment, we don't even get here. What the heck? How is that even possible? So when we raycast, the ray doesn't actually hit it. Quoi? How? Okay, we're gonna make a change now.
Okay.
This entire thing we've done with the direction and everything, starting from the owner ray radius, we're simply going to remove this one for now. Save. So now we go straight from the center of the bomb.
Okay.
Okay. And we don't need this else at the moment. Save. So all it's gonna give us is the raycast that we're hitting. The raycast hit that we've hit. In theory. Let's see now. Now I bet you we're gonna get hit, but that's inconsistent. No, we didn't get hit and we didn't get that one. This is the weirdest thing. I absolutely do not understand it. So the ray should be correct. It goes from the position of the transform plus a certain height with direction. The direction is correctly calculated. Okay. It goes based on the direction. That's all fine. Raycast hit, ray out, raycast hit, script, explosion check layer. It's an infinite ray. It should give us this information that apparently doesn't hit anything. What are you talking about? Debug log the ray again. So debug draw line. Draw line. Open around. Ray.origin. Comma. Ray.origin plus ray.direction. Multiply by 1. It's already multiplied by 1. Potato. Color dot yellow. Whatever. Color. Color dot yellow. Comma. 5F. 5 seconds again. Close the round. Semicolon. Alright, so this is a line that should be drawn from where the ray starts going in the direction. So we're just gonna see it if it actually goes. But my bet is it will go and it will hit the player. It will be right through it. And it won't give us much more information than what we already got as a problem. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Bomb. Boink, and there's the line.
Yeah.
But
That's behind the player.
something's interesting. The line is behind the player. Isn't that curious? I don't understand how come the line is there. It's like where are we? Yeah. It's so that's the issue. It's like the bomb goes basically past the player when it blows up. I genuinely don't understand how come. Yeah, we won't be able to break this, and meaning we won't be able to sort of pause for a frame and actually observe what's happening because the bomb is already being destroyed immediately, as it should be. The PFX explosion is right in front of the player, right? So that I also don't understand because it's in front of the player. So how does that ray origin behave so wrong? That's the interesting issue. Instantiate transform.position. Okay. I absolutely do not understand this. New ray transposition. Ah! Hello. Save.
What was?
Now, the ray should be correct. But my worry is that it detects the bomb itself. So we haven't really solved the problem. But there you go.
You did get hurt as well.
Yeah, and you can see the ray right there where it's gone now. But you'll see it shortly.
You did not get hurt the second time.
I did not?
Yeah.
And here's your answer. It found itself.
Yeah, there.
That's exactly what I expected. So it thinks that it itself is in the way. So because we have made it so. Oh, right, because the reason why we did this is so that the player can't like get exploded twice. But you know what? We will solve that a different way. Typical thing of these games is when you get hurt once, you start flashing for a bit, and that makes you immortal for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that happens in Mario a lot.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to remove this criterion. So in other words, the explosion checker needs to not worry about this particular thing. So the explosion checker doesn't need to worry about bombs, but only about walls. So if there's a wall in the way, then it won't blow you up. If there is no wall in the way, then it will. So let's simply go here and change the explosion checker by removing the enemy.
Okay.
So if there's an enemy right in front, I don't know that I'm too happy with that though. Because there could be, say, an enemy that acts like a wall or something. Doink. Eh? How did you... How did you still see yourself? That's not possible. So... So here it saw itself, but did we get damaged? I didn't actually check. No, I don't think so. There's a 2 over there, and I think that's your health. Doink.
We got hurt.
Yeah.
See again. We did
Didn't.
not get hurt.
Didn't get hurt. Oh, man, this is frustrating. Because it apparently only finds that. And I'm not collapsing it. Oh. No, but still, right? It shouldn't attack that because it would need to think it's a bomb, but I don't think so. So overlap sphere, does it actually only account for one of them? I am so confused. No, so it definitely finds the player. That we know because it gets here. And then it raycasts the thing for explosion check layer. Did I actually edit that in game or during the pause? Am I that stupid? Because I could be stupid. Yeah. No, I've edited it already. Huh? How in the world does it detect that? It's not supposed to. And then it checks if the bomb should explode. Let's quickly do a test here to see if this gives us a count as well. So here go debug.log open round cs.length. Ah no, but wait, this is normal. It will obviously find itself. Remove the save. But we're already checking if this is not ourselves. Then, okay, so that's already working. I must say I'm properly baffled by this at the moment. I'm supposed to be expert at this. That's very sad. So, ray out, raycast hit, game manager, explosion check layer. I have definitely checked this. The explosion check layer does not have the enemy in it. Awesome. So, if the first ray immediately hits the player, then it should work. if it's not, then it should ignore it. I'm so weirded out because you see here it's saying enemy bomb.
Yes.
This means it's picking up on the enemy bomb. How in the world are you picking up on the enemy bomb when you're deliberately supposed to ignore that particular layer? Is this a Unity bug? I'm confused as heck. Because Unity bugs do happen, by the way.
Yeah.
They're rare, but they do happen.
Have you ever seen one before?
Oof. Have I? Yes. They're all over the place. But nothing like this. I want to try and verify this again real quick. Okay, so that's definitely removed. Explosion check layer is definitely there. Let's go and test it one more time. But I'm sure it's going to actually behave incorrectly at some point. Ta-da-da-da, boom. Okay, that hurt me. Ta-da-da-da, boom. That hurt me. Boom. That did not hurt me. And you can see the symptom is exactly that. Let's remove collapse.
It's always the second
so player,
time, which is weird.
Player, and then enemy bomb spawn point. This means this picks it up. It's like it's got the wrong layer. The bomb when it's born.
Oh.
Type game object here with a lowercase g. It may want to transform first, so let's type transform first dot game object. Yeah, then plus quote tick quote plus, and then copy this entire thing, paste dot layer, save. Alright, so this should give us the game object, which is going to be identical to before, so just the name like it did, and then it's going to give us the layer. I want to see the layer. Boink. That was player, layer 11.
Yeah. Player.
Yeah, see, it's not always the second time.
Yeah, I see now. And it's not always the third time either.
No.
Now we can't verify more because we don't know.
We can. We keep on going to negative, etc.
Yeah.
So. Still works. Yeah, these sort of random, unexpected bugs. -4, -5. It's all working, obviously, all of a sudden. -6, -7. Enemy bomb, 12. The layer is 12. Which is enemy! Now, dear little monster, can you clarify to me how in the bloody world you hit enemy when you're not supposed to hit that layer? It says precisely here. Unless this is seen as an int. Like another int like max distance, or it's fridge. Look at that. No, it knows it's layerMask. Well, it can't actually. So array. Now it says max distance because it's stupid. So array has max distance. Let's see if there's a layerMask without the no. So out. No. Because it's possible we're being a bit foolish and we're actually expecting it to do a thing that it doesn't understand. Okay, so I think I know what's happening now, and it finally makes some degree of sense. Yes, so the problem is this explosion check layer is an int.
Yeah.
Or it can be automatically can be implicitly cast as an int. So it's possible that instead of reading it as the layer, it's reading it as a float, max distance. Which means it implicitly casts it to an int and then implicitly casts it to a float. I despise this in C#. I can't believe anybody who made C# thinks this is a good idea. That you can simply type 1 without the F and it will know that it's a float. I dislike that deeply. That's why I always force you to write the letter F. In this particular case, we have found a very, very rare case in which, if we look at all of the permutations here, so let's look at the first one, only has a ray. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we got ray and max distance. It's definitely not the case because we got the out. Then you got ray and out. Okay, this is what we've got. We are here.
Yeah.
Then origin direction doesn't matter to us because we definitely don't have vectors here, so it will ignore that. We got the ray. We don't have the max distance. The raycast hit is very definitely a different type of component. It's a raycast hit component, so it won't get confused. It will be this, and then you see you have float max distance. I think this is the one we currently have. So we are effectively not using this layer. We're using a max distance. That's my bet.
Okay, but how do we make it use the layer?
We'll fix it in a second. But I just want you to see this, okay? So out raycast hit info, etc., and you'll see none of these apply. This one may apply, but again, it's got max distance is the next one. This doesn't apply. Doesn't apply. Does apply. Max distance is the third one. Max doesn't apply. Doesn't apply. Okay, we're out. So I'm right. This thing here is seen as the max distance. Ta 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 ta! Mystery solved. I think at least. This annoying little brat isn't being seen as actually the layer. Because of all of these implicit casts, which, yes, bother me very much. So copy the explosion radius. Paste it here, comma, space, save. Anything else? I don't think so. Huh, that's a bit of a buggo. Yeah, it's a bit of a buggo. We should actually check that there's no wall in between. We'll worry about that later.
Okay.
Well, no, we should worry about that now. See, the problem is it does another overlap sphere to find the enemies, and that's fine, right? It then wants to explode the enemies. The problem is that what if there's a wall in between?
Mm-hmm.
Should the other enemy explode? And the answer is clearly no. So we should have a check that's very similar to this one, meaning we need another raycast. At this point, I'm almost thinking about reinstating that thing, and nah, because we needed to check the player first, so that's kind of fine. Yeah, we're just gonna keep them separated as we had them here, and we should have another type of layerMask that is actually checking for enemy and wall. So let's do that instead. So we're gonna stop the code here, go to the game manager, copy this one, paste it here, and go enemy, capital E, explosion, enemy, check layer, save. Okay, and
now we need to actually add it.
Yeah, we'll fix this. We'll fix this. I'm fairly confident. Oh boy, this has been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? Okay, so we're gonna have a problem here because these variables are being created inside this for. It's gonna complain if we do it here. At least I think it is. But I'm not sure at this point. So let's copy it all.
There.
And paste it here. Okay, it's happy, so that's good. If as long as it's not ourselves, so we're gonna ignore ourselves. If it's someone else, so that's all correct already. Blah 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 blah. And here, type explosion. There it is. Enemy check layer. I got it. Save. And now raycast, we can leave that. If raycast hit transfer, copy the enemy, paste it here. Now as long as there is an enemy, cut this, put it in here. And here you're gonna cut all of this and paste it here. And now we're gonna delete these two, save. Okay, so let's recap this. We launch an overlap sphere that checks for enemies.
Yep.
We then go through every one enemy,
Mm-hmm.
except ourselves. And then we do the usual direction to where we are, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
We draw the line, we're going to remove this draw line, we know it works. We're going to remove this draw line, we know it works. And then we do a physics raycast by explosion radius to the explosion enemy check layer.
Mm-hmm.
And if we find a wall, then we're going to do nothing. And we're going to... Wait a moment. How did we do it for the player? 1 second. Because it needs to match. See, this is the first ray. If it immediately hits... Okay, the object and it's the player. Okay, so if it's not going to be an enemy, then it's not going to blow up. Yeah, so it's going to work. So if it's an enemy and if it's not null, then the enemy is going to be this. And if the enemy health is higher than 0, then take damage. Okay, so all of this should work. Hit the save key. Yeah, and let's test it out.
Okay.
Now this particular thing with the enemy versus enemy being detected is going to be very difficult to test. Okay, we got hurt. As we know, it's not a guarantee of anything.
We got hurt.
We got hurt.
And we got hurt.
Got hurt. Let's keep on testing because you never know.
We got hurt. We got hurt.
We got hurt both times? Yeah.
Except I saw the player get weird. Go weird.
-3, -4, -5, -6, -7. Seems like it's
we got the error right. Here. -8.
So I noticed something.
What?
One bomb doesn't blow the other one up. See?
Yeah, I see that.
So that of course, and that's because we forgot to assign
the explosion enemy check layer.
That's right. So it's gonna be enemy and map obstacle. Let's quickly test this again. So it seems like we fixed it for the player. We can take damage now properly, as we should be. And let's do it here. All right. So we whoa.
What?
We lost all 3 health points.
Yeah.
Now, this has to do with that thing that we haven't implemented invulnerability yet. So, let's do that. Let's implement invulnerability on the player. So, we were supposed to do those animations, but unfortunately we wasted a huge amount of time trying to figure out what was happening there, and we finally did. So, let's recap what the issue was. The problem is that, or was I should say, is that physics raycast has loads of possible permutations.
Yeah.
And all of the permutations that interest us, meaning that they have or I think they're called overrides, those permutations. Anyway, so the first element is array, the second element is the out for the raycast hit. Okay, that's all good, but the third element is never the layer. The third element is always the float for the distance, right? Of the ray. And we didn't notice that. And because the explosion check layer, which is a layerMask, is in fact an int can be immediately automatically understood as a float by C#, and so C# was perfectly happy to say, okay, the distance is going to be 11 or whatever it was. Right?
I think it was 12.
Yeah, 12 for enemies, 11 for player, I believe. But anyway. So yeah, that took us ages to figure out. In fact, let's do something real quick and check that we haven't been stupid anywhere else. Okay, so hit Control F here. And let's go. Okay, this one is looking correct.
That's correct.
So we've got the length, yeah, and then the layer, that's correct. Length and layer, correct.
Yep.
Nope,
Nope.
Rongo Bongo. Detect player. So here is should be the detection radius or whatever it's called. Detection distance.
Detection distance.
Copy this. Paste it here. Comma. Space. Save. Let's go to the next one. Patrol max distance. Detection distance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, all correct. There was another thing that I noticed that was a bit dodgy. Somewhere here. Alright, we did this thing where we avoid ourselves. Let's stay where we're at now. For now, things are fine. So this should actually help. So the player detection may have had a problem, but we've addressed it. Save this. Alright, now player. When we take the damage with the player, all we're gonna do is create some kind of coroutine that allows us to have invulnerability.
For a little bit.
For a little bit. Simple as. Here's where we got all of our cosmetics for coroutines. I think this one would qualify under cosmetic as well. So go serialize field. Private float. And go invulnerability duration.
Like this?
Yeah, duration. Equals duration. Duration. What? Duration. Equals how many seconds? 3? 3F?
Yeah, that would probably be good.
Okay. Semicolon, save. Serialize field. Private float. Invulnerability flash duration. Flash duration.
So we're gonna make a
Equals 0.25F. So a quarter of a second. Save. And then private coroutine. Core invulnerability. Semicolon. Alright, so let's go in. You should know this. Let's see if you can do it all on your own. Void. Start invulnerability. That's correct. Ability.
Oops.
Open, close.
I opened something, I think.
Yeah, you may want to copy this entire thing so you don't have to retype it.
Yep. Invulnerability is quite hard. Word type. Oops.
It's already copied. So, yeah, just paste. Yeah, and now make the changes you need. Perfect. Alright, so here you're gonna check if the coroutine is running. All correctamundo. Perfect. Now where do you call stop invulnerability routine?
Here, in start.
Yeah. And not quite. It's correct, but you're missing something. You need to assign it to the coroutine. So
Yeah,
you need to say,
core
yeah,
invulnerability equals start routine,
yeah,
then
invulnerability routine. Perfect. Okay, so that's all correct. Now, let's go program the routine. We forgot something as well. We need a state for this. So here we've got a state for interacting. Let's create another state, private. I don't see a need to make it public. Just go private. Private, and call this one.
invulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, but you forgot the type.
Yeah, I need to make it a bool.
Yeah. Invulnerable. Semicolon. Okay, and so here you can say invulnerable is true. Invulnerable is true. Semicolon. And then enter. And what we do here is we're gonna go through the entire routine. So you want to say while. We should also know we need a passing time to measure. So float passing time. It starts at 0. Passing time equals 0 foot. Yeah, and here you want to check the passing time is lower or equal to something duration. Just type duration. Invulnerability duration. That's the one. Close the round. Save. And here you want to say well, a few things. But first of all, do we have access to our mesh renderer? I see we have access to the animation, the awareness module, but I don't see access to our mesh renderer. So go private. Wait a moment, I've made a mistake.
Whoops.
Yeah, well, I've caused you this. Type private here. Private mesh render. Actually, it's not a mesh render. It's a skinned mesh render.
Which means?
It's basically a thing with bones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So SMR. Semicolon. Okay. Now we're gonna have to assign it in our setup. So right here go SMR equals, and now I don't know because we need to go check the player. Prefabs player. So it's got a structure, avatar, armature, player, and there it is. So you need to go under structure, avatar, player. Wait. Copy all of this, paste it here, / player, get component, skin mesh renderer. There it is. Save. Okay, so SMR. Now you got the SMR, and you can turn it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So here you're gonna turn it off first. Well, you're gonna turn it to the opposite of itself. So go SMR dot enabled equals, and let's see if you can figure it out. How would you say the opposite of the current situation? Enabled is what?
False.
Well, enabled is false. I don't know that. It starts true, that's for sure, right? But you've kind of answered the question. You said it's false. Therefore, what data type is it?
What do you mean by what data type?
Well, what type of variable would it be if you were to assign it?
It's a bool.
It's a bool, right? So if it's a boolean, it's got two possible values. How do you get the opposite of the current boolean? You've done it many times in ifs. You've done it right there. Right? That's a boolean question, and you say if it's not null. So if you say enabled, this is true, right?
If you say it's not false.
Well, you would say exclamation mark enabled would be false, right? So you can do exclamation mark SMR enabled. Enabled, semicolon. So think this through, okay? So here it says the current SMR enabled is going to be the opposite of the current SMR enabled. So if it's true, it becomes false. On the following cycle, it becomes true. On the following cycle, it becomes false.
So it keeps repeating itself like that.
That's right. That's the cool thing about programming, right? We can make the computer repeat things. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to yield return new wait for seconds open around, and here you want to feed it the other duration. So let's type duration. There it is, 2 down. Invulnerability flash duration. Close the round. Semicolon. So now the passing time, what should you add to it? Normally you do plus equals time dot delta time, right?
Yeah.
What would you add to it now?
What do we do? Fixed delta time?
No. Look at what you just wrote. So in that yield, what are you in the yield return? What are you waiting for?
We're waiting for the seconds of the invulnerability flash duration, which is 3.
No. This is 3. This is 0.25. So you're waiting for a very short amount of time. So you make the thing invisible. You wait for a very short amount of time. Fantastic. How much time has passed, therefore? Between the previous frame and now. Well, the previous calculation and now.
0.25.
That's right. Therefore, you want to add invulnerability flash duration to the passing time. So you go passing time plus equals invulnerability flash duration. There it is. Semicolon. That's because you're doing it differently this time, right? You're not going over time with a smooth thing. You're going in flashes, like that. All right, so passing time, etc. Now, do you know for sure that the SMR is going to be enabled at the end?
No.
Which means you need to force it.
Yeah.
So go SMR.enabled is what?
True.
That's right. Okay, so now we forced it to be true, and another thing needs to be forced now. What? Are you still invulnerable?
No.
Therefore?
We need to force it to be false.
That's right. Oh,
That's
1 equal. That's a bit of a misleading thing in C# as a language. The equals, the single equals is an assignment. In many other languages, well, in some other languages, you use an arrow to mean from now on this is going to be this. But anyway, all right. So this should work. Now there's another check we need to do, which is when we take damage. Oh, hit Shift tab for me. Thanks. Save. So there should be a take damage. It's right here. Now we don't take damage if we're invulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we need to make
here you're gonna say if. Wait a moment. Undo. Undo a bunch of times. That's enough. I pressed enter while that was selected. So if Not invulnerable. Just not invulnerable. That's it. Close the round. Open a squiggle. And close the squiggle here. So, if not invulnerable.
Else.
You don't need an else. Nothing happens. If you're invulnerable, nothing happens. You don't take damage.
Yeah.
Alright. Now, let's maximize and play. Let's take a look. Oh. And we're gonna stop here because we ran out of time and we didn't do what we wanted to do. Dang it. Boink.
We didn't test if it was invulnerable with the other bomb.
We took 2 damage, I think. Look, we took 3 damage.
Did we forget to assign?
Assign what?
We made some variables.
Yeah, but they were all serious field. We gave so those are all private. We still gave them a default value, so that was all fine.
Yeah, you're right.
No, what I think happened here is that everything is happening within the same frame. And so we are getting this interesting little conundrum. Yeah. So everything is happening in the same frame. We're getting 3 hits. I think one bomb is exploding the other one, and then the other one is exploding the first one, and blah, blah, blah.
But we fixed that one a long time ago.
We fixed a crash that was related to that. Not a crash, but a stack overflow. Meaning that the bomb was exploding, etc. So it's odd that it's 3. I'll give you that. Also, wait a second though. We should at least get 1 routine to play. Shouldn't we? Ah, wait. We're stupid. We never played the routine.
Call it.
That's right. Right here. You go start invulnerability or whatever you call it.
We are stupid sometimes.
Your father certainly is. Oh boy. Every time I forget these things, like connecting stuff or whatever. It's just funny. Come on, Bob, notice me. Notice me, senpai. Okay, only lost 1.
Dun dun dun, flashing.
And we're back.
Hello. Ow, I'm invulnerable.
I definitely got hit by both. Yeah. And it's only 1. And the invulnerability is working. Okay, now we're going to test invulnerability in a slightly different fashion. Meaning we're going to get hit by the first one. We're going to go invulnerable. And then we're going to walk into the other one while we're invulnerable. And we didn't take damage.
Great.
No, we did.
Bang.
No, we didn't. Ha! Splash.
It would be a cool trick if we put a lot of enemies like all blocking your way, and then you hit one of them deliberately, and then jump through all the rest.
Sure. Okay, give it a save. I noticed there's an interesting problem where we can climb on top of the bombs.
Yeah, I saw you do that.
I don't think it's an issue, but I think it will cause some weird behaviors.
I almost pressed the wrong button.
Zoe's playing, watch out! Ha! Eat it. Yeah.
He's slow.
What do you mean he's slow? He's fine. Almost too late.
I am dead.
You are dead. Oh.
That would have been too late.
That was interesting.
Bye.
Look at him run. No! Into
I
the
will
wall.
now get this.
Okay, you got the glove.
Ah.
You may want to chuck him.
I almost got hit by that.
It's not hit you. It hasn't hit you. Yeah. You were at a safe distance. Ooh. You're going for a swim.
And then I'm going back out.
Alright.
And now I'm gonna pick up some bombs, and then I'm going to stop.
Ah! No, things went poorly. Things went poorly.
I was invulnerable.
Poor Zelda guy. Ah! That bomb.
Spawn.
Nuclear.
It looks very cool.
It got hurt you. You got hurt as well.
Safe distance this
Whiff! Missed. Uh-oh.
Ah. Come back. Ouch!
Oh man, you got skills, lady.
I am
Eat it.
so cool. Except I was invulnerable the second time. Oh,
that's true.
I forgot we put some ladders here. These were test ladders.
The test ladders. The old famous test ladders.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And then little smoke pieces. I will destroy you.
Whiffage. He's gonna catch you, you potato. How many times must you make the same mistake? Splash. Oi, what a jump. Athletic.
Yellow.
Whiffaroni, no.
Nope.
Hit.
I did it.
Okay,
Hey.
good work.
Again. There.
Alright, good.
That's enough.
So that'll be enough for tonight. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.